Greetings, you prideful little shits. Welcome to the first episode of your course on how not to be such a prideful little shit. From here on out, you need to consider pride your greatest enemy. Declare war on it, and begin employing the strategies that you're about to learn to defeat it. I want to start us off with a quote from Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War. He wrote, once, a long time ago, "If you know the enemy and yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles." Well, here's the problem with pride, is that it's an enemy who, at the moment, before taking this course, you do not know. You don't know its weaknesses, you don't know its strengths, and you don't know how it operates. Furthermore, pride's greatest strength is that it's able to blind you from your own greatest weaknesses. The first step in this process is to recognize the way that pride is able to exploit one of humanity's greatest weaknesses. Next, we're going to want to study how our enemy, pride, strategizes against us using this weakness and using its various strengths, its various tactics. Third is going to be to formulate a defensive strategy to protect ourselves against pride's main form of attack. And finally, we're going to formulate offensive strategies to attack pride itself and to ultimately defeat it. First, let's look at pride's blinding strategy, which essentially uses this quality of human nature, which in certain circumstances and when used properly can be a strength of mankind. But the way pride manipulates it makes it a weakness and gives pride power over us in order to lead us into mistakes and to run into severe consequences that we otherwise couldn't have anticipated, or could have anticipated if it weren't for pride. This quality of human nature that I'm talking about, we can call the lens. And the lens is essentially a conceptualization of the way that when we observe reality, it goes through this mental filter that distorts it into what we could consider the perceived reality. And then we build our perspectives of reality on this perceived reality, which is not necessarily true. There's I think it was a Buddhist parable that illustrates this idea very well. And it goes that there are three blind men. There's some versions where there are more, but there are three blind men, and they're all walking around, and they pull up to this elephant, but they can't see it, right? And so they start touching the elephant because they want to figure out what it is that they're experiencing. And when the blind men go up to the snout or the trunk of the elephant, he goes up to it and he goes, "Oh, guys, this is a snake. Oh shit, we're screwed." And one of the other blind men, he goes up to the elephant, he's feeling the ears of the elephant. And he's like, "Are you crazy, man? We're experiencing a fan right now. This is a fan. We can chill out, relax, fan ourselves with it." And the third guy goes up to it and he experiences the tusks, right? He's touching the tusks. He's like, "No, this is a spear, guys. Let's go hunt." And so they all start, bickering, debating, and having a whole pissy fit, if you will. This parable conceptualizes the idea of the lens in the sense that we can consider that elephant to be an objective reality, right? And all of us to be those blind men, the lens to be that blindness, experiencing objective reality through our senses. And due to our blindness or our lens, we only experience certain aspects of that objective reality, and thus it gets distorted into a perceived reality, and our perspectives are then analogous to their conclusions about what that elephant is. One concludes it's a spear, one concludes it's a fan, and so on. This parable of the three blind men and the elephant can be used to describe what I'll call the process of perception. And essentially what that is we're going about our lives, and we observe things in the objective world existing beyond perception, right? We observe them, and they go through our lens and get distorted into a perceived reality. This perceived reality is then what we build a perspective on, and then that perspective goes on to determine our actions and to further construct our already existing lens. We can see this most clearly in maybe ourselves, if we've been that person, or others who kind of pride themselves on their rationality, and they go, "Oh, you guys don't think rationally, you're just emotional." But what ends up happening is they become so proud of that power of their thought that they become blind to the effects of their lens, and they stop noticing when emotions inevitably take hold of their thinking, as they do with all of us, and begin to distort their judgments and lead them to very flawed perspectives. And the biggest problem arises when they surrender their ability to think, reason, and consider ultimate possibilities.
Howdy, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Conquering the Deadliest Sin. Check out more of these on my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment if you have any thoughts about whatever the hell I talked about in this episode. Check out the other episodes in this series. It builds on itself, so I can go more in depth with certain concepts, certain topics, certain ideas than I would be able to in a quick 10 to 20 minute video. As you'll see throughout this series, a lot of the strategies that we're going to use to counteract pride involve developing self-awareness and a realistic self-image. Now, an excellent way to do that is by journaling. Imagine if you could connect your journal to the mind of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. I made an app that allows you to do that. Essentially, you can go in, type in your reflections, regurgitate all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the experiences into your phone here, and then you'll be able to talk with a version of ChatGPT that's been connected to the meditations by Marcus Aurelius, as well as other Stoic texts such as On the Shortness of Life by Seneca, The Discourses by Epictetus, another book by Seneca, what was it? The Letters of a Stoic. So go ahead and check that out in the description. Get that app, give me a review, tell me what you think. Let me know if there are any features you would like to see, anything that you think should be added, any issues that you might find. I'm a solo app developer, kind of trying to figure it out on my own, and I would love any feedback from you guys that I could get. See you next time.